What's up, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube? Boogie2988 coming at you live once again through the power of the internet. And recently I made some changes here on the channel about the type of content I was creating, and there's a lot of resistance. A lot of people saying you shouldn't make changes like that. Well, here's the thing. Ever since I've been doing YouTube, I have changed the way I make content all of the time. There's series that I stopped doing because it was unsuccessful, because I simply didn't want to do them anymore. There's a bunch of failed experiments here on the channel, and I thought it would be interesting for myself as well as you to go back and look at some of my failed YouTube experiments. Here's something I used to put up on the channel all the time. This is my Vine compilations. I only ever did 3, but I used to be pretty active on Vine. I'd make 2 or 3 Vines a day. I would Vine whenever we would go somewhere cool, the movie theater, or just go out and play. Hey, I'm wearing that shirt right now. The one was in the video. A lot of people raged about these, though. They said they were lazy content, that it was obnoxious in the videos, that it was stupid, they didn't want to see them. For me, it was about archiving the stuff that I was doing on Vine, and I didn't stop doing this because it became unpopular or anything like that, or the controversy. I actually stopped doing this because I just stopped posting on Vine. I didn't really feel the need to post on Vine anymore, especially once Twitter allowed me to start uploading short 20-second videos directly to Twitter. That was mostly what I was using Vine for anyway, so this is just kind of dead to me. Going back and looking at this, one piece of criticism I would get all the time is that my Vines were obnoxious, and they were obnoxious. They're not as obnoxious as my Twitch streams, but they're pretty fucking obnoxious. Now, speaking of Vines, here's a character I used to do on Vine all the time. He never really did much on YouTube. I think this may be the only video that I've ever done with him on YouTube. I've done him on Twitch. But here, meet Clifty.
My mama always said, yes, she did. She's famous for it. You know, I ain't never been to no ticker tape parade. Hey, do y'all remember? I do. God, I wish I didn't.
I still do this character occasionally on stream. The idea behind him is he's super paranoid, and he's kind of like a conspiracy theorist, so he believes all kinds of crazy stuff, like we live in the Matrix. I don't know, the character wasn't very popular even on Vine. I've never really found a home for him here on YouTube, and this one YouTube video, people did not like it. Please do not do this. So I've never really done it again, but if I ever find a place for him here on YouTube, I will use the character.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? It's me, Pastor Jacob, doing one of my famous YouTube sermons today. And today we're going to talk about the act of homosexuality.
Oh,
its
God.
role in
Oh,
the bedroom,
God,
its
no.
role in the...
Stop, no. This is a very early YouTube video. This is, I think, May 23rd, 2012. Only 76,000 views, and people seem to like it. However, the handful of people that did not like this character really did not like it. I mean, they were violently angry about it. And I learned a very important lesson on YouTube that day. Don't joke about people's religion. Don't joke about these hot button topics. People go fucking nuts. And sure, there are people out here on YouTube that do that, and they're perfectly capable of doing that. They don't mind the backlash you get. I'm not ready for that kind of backlash. That is not the kind of backlash I want. I mean, we're talking death threats. We're talking people just getting absolutely furious. This is a character that was retired very, very quickly. Again, I still use the voice a little bit on stream occasionally, but never again on YouTube. Not in a million years. Now, we've talked about this series before. This is the Lol What series. And some of them are fairly innocuous, while some of them are pretty terrible. Oh, why? Oh, God, why? Why? Now, thankfully, this is a very early series, so I still leave these videos up if anybody ever wants to find them. But I don't do this stuff anymore because it's not really what I want to be known for. There's plenty of YouTube comedians who still do that kind of stuff today. I think, you know, like iDubbbz and your Filthy Franks and those guys. And I watch that stuff. I respect that stuff. I love that stuff. It's just not something I'm really willing to do anymore. But it's funny. This is still funny to me. I watch these videos and it's funny. I just wish it wasn't me doing them. Now, here's a series that was very popular, but I quit it because of personal reasons. This was the Monday Mailbag series in which, you know, I opened up a P.O. box, which is still open today if you ever want to send me a letter or whatever. And I would open up the mail and talk about it here. I mostly would open up the items, the letters I would leave private, but I would read a lot of the letters, especially the ones that touched me. But after doing, I think, 25 or 30 episodes of this, I just had to stop doing it. I was trying to do it on a weekly basis. A lot of different reasons I had to stop. Firstly, I stopped right around wedding time when I married my wife, and that was like obviously wedding planning and getting closer and closer to that wedding was very, very time consuming. And this series was very time consuming. It would be 8 or 10 hours worth of filming. It would take up an entire day to go through all this stuff and find stuff and read every letter. And it's really hard on these old diabetic eyes to read people's handwriting and stuff. So that part sucked. But then the letters themselves were like fantastic. Sometimes there would be stuff that people made and fan art, and sometimes like gifts and stuff like that was amazing. I loved getting that stuff. And sometimes the letters were very uplifting and awesome and great. Some people would send like things to try to advertise their channels or advertise their services to you, though, and so you'd not read those, and those people would get really mad at you. Or if you would feature a gift that, seemed like it was expensive, sometimes the fans would get mad at you about that. But then sometimes the letters were just like, depressing, or from people who were a little imbalanced and crazy. And those, you don't want to piss off somebody who's having a bad time in their life and they're looking to you. So you'd read their letter, maybe you didn't read it well enough, or maybe you didn't read it at all, or maybe you skipped over that one because it seemed more private than to be put on the channel. Whatever it was, we were making tons and tons of people mad. So mad that they began to send dirty, threatening letters and dirty, like messed up prank stuff and threatening stuff to the mailbox. And after a while, we just realized we kind of had to stop doing it. Now, that doesn't mean we gave up on the P.O. Box. The P.O. Box is still there, and if you want to send us fan mail, the P.O. Box is going to be down below. I'm debating telling you this story, but I've told it on stream, so I think I'll tell it here. The day that I decided to quit the series, I opened up a letter, and these pictures of these kids fell out. And I started looking at these pictures of kids, and they're perfectly normal, healthy kids. I'm thinking, oh, these are fans. Well, it actually turns out it was a letter from the mother of these children who had planned to kill herself after writing me that letter. And what had happened is she had lost her children in a tragic accident, and she had seen my videos talking about depressing stuff, depression and suicide and stuff like that, and decided to hold on for a little while, but decided she couldn't hold on anymore, and she wanted to send me these pictures of her kids and tell me stories about her kids so someone would remember them once she was gone. And I realized that kind of burden was not something I was really capable of taking on mentally, and I just realized I had to walk away from it. Okay, let's lighten the mood with a little bit of Francis. Everybody loves Francis. Not everybody loved this series, though. But this is a series I started right after I first damaged my lower back. And I wasn't able to do as much active stuff with the Francis character. I wasn't able to break as much stuff and run around the house and smash stuff. I was still able to do that occasionally, but I was still in a ton of back pain. So I thought I would do these Francis vlogs, in which I created a story and created a narrative and told them through this series. This series actually did pretty good initially for the years that I was releasing it, between I think 2013 and 2014. You look at this one, it's got 235,000 views. I think I did 7 total, but eventually, I just got tired of doing them. I felt it was always much more interesting to pick a trending topic and have Francis rage about that. Those videos always performed well. People had that common interest, and I think these videos weren't as believable too, so that made it not as enjoyable to do. But I did really enjoy doing these. I really did enjoy these, even though some of them are most worst viewed videos on the channel. I'm still kind of proud of them. I've often thought about rebooting this and doing it from scratch. Best part about that series is I did learn quite a bit about editing, quite a bit about scripting and writing, even though a lot of it's still improvised. I really felt that I learned a lot doing that series, and a lot of those techniques are still in videos today, including this one. Here's a series that I was doing really up until recently, and this is Wii Game, my weekly gaming series. I called it Wii Game because of weekly gaming, I thought about bringing this series back, but eventually I just kind of tired of doing it. It didn't perform very well on the channel. It's a lot of work, and I really felt like you guys didn't respond to it in the way that I wanted you to. I feel like a lot of people here on the channel are here for me, and not necessarily the gaming portion, and you want to see me do something other than talk about gaming news. This wasn't a relevant part to a lot of my audience, and so if I ever brought this back, I thought about bringing it back. Maybe it'll come back here on the main channel. Maybe it'll go over on the gameplay channel. We'll have to see. I did enjoy doing this show, though. Here's another series that I just don't do very often anymore, but I'm willing to do it, and this is the Storytime series. I would talk about stuff that happened to me in my life. I actually have an episode of this that I've been wanting to do for a while, talking about the handful of times I was very, very sick and got hospitalized. I think that would be an interesting story. People react very differently to this story. Some people really like it. Some people are pretty empathetic towards it. Some people are apathetic towards it. Some people get violently angry. Again, for some reason, when I tell these real life stories about myself, some people get extra crazy and extra angry, going out of their way to make sure I know how angry they are for some reason. Never really understood that, because I'm just telling stories about stuff that has happened to me. But I don't know, people react weird to it. But that's not what stopped me from doing these. What it really comes down to is I've run out of really good stories to tell. There's only a few left that I haven't told. And then eventually I'm just going to be talking about like the time I was at a grocery store, or the time I, fell asleep on a train. It's just boring stuff. But the stories that are up there for the Storytime series, I actually really am proud of those. I like these videos a lot. First off, let me say that I love this video because that's a picture of me at like age 9 or 10. Look at what a giant I was. I've always just been fat as shit. I'm not proud of that, by the way. I know I look naked there, but I promise you I'm wearing shorts. But I was such a fat little shit. Holy crap. Like, that kitten looks like it's about to be my lunch. Damn. But that said, this is one of my serious videos. I used to tag them that way with the word serious in it because of people's reactions to them. I still do serious videos. I do a lot less of them. About half my content used to be very serious talks and very serious conversations. Now I tend to be a lot more lighthearted and goofy. A lot of different reasons for that. Firstly, I've covered most of the serious topics that I want to talk about. I will still talk about some whenever it's interesting to me, or I need to get something off my chest, or I want to communicate something that is very serious or talk about a serious topic. Obviously, I still do those videos. But, again, people's reaction to that can be very weird. A lot of people will say things like, oh, you're supposed to be making me laugh. Where's the funny jokes? Where's the skits? Put on your clown makeup, you stupid fucking clown, and make me laugh. I'm here to poke fun of you, not to talk to you about serious stuff or hear about stuff that's happened to you or what's going on in your life. I'm here to laugh at you. But one of the reasons I don't cover as many of these serious topics, especially when it comes to stuff like depression and anxiety and stuff, is I'm in a mentally healthier place than I've ever been. And I don't really feel the undying urge to get that stuff out of me and into the world. I've got most of it out of me through improving my life and improving my brain and working on improving my body and improving the things around me. And so I am more capable of creating that goofy, fun content that I enjoy making so much and you guys enjoy watching so much. And that's good. Now, again, like I said, when this stuff comes up again, whether it comes up in here, or it's something that's happening to the community, or it's something that we should talk about, we will definitely talk about serious topics. I'm not afraid to do it, but for the most part, I just kind of like clowning around. And that's just some of the videos and series that I've tried to make here for you guys that have failed. There's plenty more that have worked, and I've really enjoyed doing this. I still enjoy doing this every day. I like being creative. I like trying new stuff. I like seeing what sticks and what doesn't, and if it sticks around, we'll enjoy it for many years to come, and if it doesn't, we'll try something else, because that's life. You try something, and you can't be afraid to fail when you try something new, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Most of the time, it doesn't. That's just life. You pick everything back up, you keep moving on, and you keep trying new stuff until you finally get it right. Guys, thanks for watching. I love you very much, and I'll speak with you again soon. I hope you enjoyed the video. I really enjoyed this trip down memory lane. I hope you did too.